morning everyone, it's Yvonne back to do your bonus read. So we're going to use the Muse Tarot for your reading. If you don't know what it looks like, that's the back of it. All right, let's see what's going on in the bonus world. Has a trouble with being on camera. Oh my goodness. Okay. I just tried to do this reading and my iPad came up and said storage was full, which means I have to offload all the apps and everything. And I had this card already and I've shuffled them in between. I've just shuffled them again and the moon's come up again. Now, it may be that we're heavily influenced by the moon cycle at the moment because that's appeared a second time, but there is something here that is being kept secret or being kept hidden from you at this point in time. Now, I feel like whatever this is, you're not ready for whatever it's going to bring forth. So it's sort of like this energy of the universe sort of holding the card up her sleeve. The moon card talks about things hidden. It talks about emotion. It talks about things being hidden deep below the surface. Sometimes it can be suppressed, oppressed emotion. You know, things like fears and angers being kept at bay. Something is happening here with the moon card. Now that's a different card behind it because we have the hanged man here. Now, the Hanged Man is a card that talks about us seeing things from a different perspective. It's like we are being faced with something, but instead of looking at it through our own eyes or our old eyes, we're looking at it through new eyes. Sometimes we can do this, for example, if somebody comes through with a different idea or a different proposition that we've not heard before. And sometimes we can think, if we're open-minded, we don't think, well, that's the way I see my world. We don't. What we do is we go, well, that's the way I see my world, but I wonder why that person sees it differently. And we start to look at it from their perspective. It doesn't mean you will take on their views, but it gives you an opportunity to see things a different way. And I feel like we are constantly challenged with this energy, looking at things from a different perspective, trying to understand why the world works in so many different ways. Sometimes people have really odd ways of looking at things. Like for me, they are really strange. They don't have any basis, don't have any logic, whatever. But I still try to understand why people think that way. I think it's really valuable. So with the Hanged Man, we're being asked to see something from a different perspective. Now we have the Empress coming through here with the Five of Wands and the Hermit card. Very interesting energy with the Chariot. Now I feel like somehow or another, because the Chariot does talk about forward movement, but I feel like it's representing somebody here. I feel like you are deliberating on something here because you're going deep inside and your thought pattern is sort of all over the place. You're trying to see something from a different perspective. But at the moment, things are hidden from you. They're not clear. So you're trying to look at things differently, but you don't have all the information. But there is something you're being asked to move forward on regardless. It's very full energy, really. You're being asked to sort of go towards something, even if it isn't what you thought it was going to be. So, for example, say somebody's come out of the blue and offered you a great opportunity, and it is so far removed from whatever you would have done before. This has just recently happened to me. And it scared the life out of me when I was asked to do it. Really frightened the life out of me. But actually was an incredible experience that I really enjoyed. I'm not really sure I would do it again, but it was fantastic to have that in my kit bag and know that I'd done that. Was it difficult? Some of it was extremely difficult, and I figured I'd been out of the loop with things for such a long time. It was really good to, you know, try something new. Was it successful? Brilliant. Absolutely 100% successful. But there was a lot of challenges for me in doing what I did. So I feel like this is something you're being faced with here. It's almost like you're being offered something that is an incredible opportunity, and you may never have done it before. I feel like somehow or another you're being asked to go towards this opportunity, even at the moment, if you cannot see what it's going to mean for you. And I guess a lot of the time in life, we do tend to sort of, I don't know, sort of, you know, not accept to do things because we think that somehow or another they're going to be very difficult, or perhaps we're worried about failing at it, or, you know, whether it's going to be successful or not. But the lessons you learn are so huge. Now, whatever this is being offered to you, you are going to move forward on. But you need to look at it from a different perspective. I feel because not everything's known, for you it's probably raising a lot of emotion and a lot of thoughts that you haven't perhaps considered. But I feel like it's stretching you in your growth. Let's have a look and see what it's all about. Okay, so we have the World card coming first. Now, the World card is a card that talks about the cycles we go through. It talks about the ending of the tarot in the major arcana. It's a cycle is completed with the World. It can talk about other things like opportunities, international things, traveling. It could be that whatever you're being offered here is an international opportunity. But it's also maybe about you closing out something or doing something because you feared doing it in the past and now you're going to go for it. All right, so we have the Five of Pentacles coming through after that. Wow, with the Eight of Cups. And I feel that's quite interesting because when I look at that, I see that and I see that. So there is something here that you are letting go, something here that you are completing, that is deep within you, that you are bringing to the surface and seeing differently to what you did before. So maybe now you're sort of putting aside the sadness and the pain, and maybe you're starting to look at the experience you've gained from this because you're walking away from it. Now, for some of you, it could be closing out a cycle. You know, we've been doing a lot of this lately. It could be that you have realized some sort of pattern you've been doing, and it could be that you are ready to let go of it now you've seen it with that Hanged Man energy. Whatever this is, it's going to push you forward in a big way. I feel like some of you may be letting go of lack mentalities, limitations, because I see great success at the end of this, especially with that World card. So I feel like you're letting go of perhaps a lack of trust, a lack mentality, a victim consciousness. You're starting to see it differently now. Something's been shown to you here. Let's have a look where we're going. So we have the Eight of Cups. So I can see you walking away from this. And I can see the King of Pentacles coming through here. The Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune right in the middle of the reading, and the High Priestess. You know, I tell you what this feels like to me. It feels like you've gone through your life really sort of in your ego. You've become so entrenched in your ego. Maybe you're having a little bit of problem trying to understand what is the ego and what is your spiritual self. And this may be the limitation you've been feeling. Maybe you've been so sort of stuck in this ego mentality that you can't see the other side. But I feel like with this Priestess and this Wheel of Fortune, that something is showing you the other way. Something is showing you what you've been doing. Something is opening you up to something you've been doing for a long time but haven't seen. And I feel like whatever this is, it may have held you back from getting what you want because you're not seeing it, or you're seeing it but you're refusing to see it differently because it's kept you safe. Let's keep going here. I feel like this is very, very powerful. All right, I have the Page of Cups coming through with the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. There's a victory here. There's a victory you've created here. You're creating something. Okay, now I see what it is. What you've been doing in the past is you've been trying to create something, but not trusting, because you've been coming from a lack mentality or coming from a victim consciousness, and you've been trying to create from that. Trying to create from that energy. And something is being presented to you here, or you're about to have something presented to you that is going to show you something incredible about what you've created. But you've been unable to see this. Oh, wow, I really want to get into this. All right, so something is being hidden from view here with the Moon card. I feel like this is hiding your capacity. It's hiding your capacity to create. It's hiding your capacity to have victory in something. You're hiding something away because you believe somewhere or somehow that you cannot create something. And you've got yourself so convinced of it. And you're seeing the results, but you're not connecting between perhaps the way you're seeing things and the way things are. And the universe is saying to you, you have to look at this from a different perspective. We need you to see this differently because you're holding back your blessings here. We want to bring you these amazing things, these things that you've worked so hard to achieve. We want to bring them to you. But until you start to see what you've been doing in the past to yourself, that you have hidden away, you have hidden away deep within you, until you start seeing what you are capable of, you are not the Empress. Now, whether you're male or female, the Empress talks about the feminine energy. So I'm feeling here maybe what you've got hidden away, again, is this High Priestess energy. But what I'm feeling for some of you, this is your creativity or your psychic ability that you are holding back. And maybe it's your capacity to love for some of you. Maybe it's your capacity to receive love. Maybe you feel receiving love is a certain thing and not really understanding what that means at a deeper level. Because the Empress does all of those things and she births new things. But this says to me there's a victim mentality or a lack mentality here that you need to heal in order to move forward. Okay, Two of Wands. It will take you in a different direction. All right, let me just give you a recap here, and I'm going to put some more cards on it. I feel like it's not so much that this reading is telling me you're completing a cycle. It feels to me like you're moving into a new cycle now, rather than completing. And it's like you're moving into a new cycle because you've understood that the way you've been doing things previously is how you were taught to do them rather than what you've learned, or you haven't taken your lessons on board. Now, for some of you, this may mean sort of returning to a lesson because you haven't quite grasped what you needed to do. And we do that. You only got to think of repeating things, repeating jobs where you get bullied, repeating relationships that are negative. Those are the sort of things we repeat because we don't learn the lessons that are captured within. There is something here that's turning in the wheel, and it's going to bring in some sort of offer for you to be able to see how you've been doing things and how you haven't been doing things in the best possible way. Now, for some of you, you could have a habit of self-sabotaging. My particularly favourite one is, I'm not self-sabotaging, I just don't believe it will happen to me. That's a good one. That is self-sabotage. I would like to think that I'd find love, but I've been looking for so long, I can't find it. Okay. I don't deserve it. And all those things say that you have already decided that you don't want it at some level. Regardless of what you say to me, that means I don't want it because I don't think I deserve it. So this is why I guess there's a real importance here on you to do your healing, because if you are in the place of not thinking you deserve it, then you don't believe in yourself. And that means going back and retrying something again. It's victim mentality. It's poverty consciousness. I feel like here somehow or another you're about to turn a corner. Whatever this is here for you, you're about to open up in some way to something new that's going to help you to see what you are actually capable of. Something is being presented to you here that's going to open your world. It's going to show you the capacity that you have. And it feels a little bit like the What's Cracking reading, in that you're right on the threshold of a new world. You're right on the threshold of manifesting exactly what you want. But you're in that energy of you couldn't get there, and you might be starting to self-sabotage. So you might be starting to think, well, it hasn't happened, so I can't manifest, or it hasn't happened, so maybe I don't deserve it. That sort of energy coming through. And I want to say to you, if you've been doing the work, don't give up now, because you are about to get to the other side here. I feel like for some of you, it's something international. Okay, so we have the Chariot coming through. So the Chariot does talk about forward movement. If this is about a person in your life, it represents Cancer. Something may be happening with a person in regards to an offer here. I don't necessarily feel that this is love for all of you though. For some of you here, it is definitely success with the King of Pentacles. Two of Cups. Well, there you go with the Magician. You've manifested a love offer here. You've manifested some sort of love offer here. But you haven't been seeing it because you're looking at something from a negative viewpoint. And it's sort of right on your doorstep here, whatever it is. But it's definitely showing you something that has been hidden in your emotions for so long that you haven't been acknowledging. And it's really funny because I see people do this. I see people learn all the lessons but still somehow not believing in who they are, or not believing that they are capable of manifesting something. And I hear it all the time. I've done all the work and I still haven't manifested. Well then, if you're thinking you haven't manifested, then you haven't done all the work. We have the card of the Void coming out, which I find very, very interesting. Because it talks about stopping, embracing winter and the great cosmic womb, which means you are definitely birthing something here. I'm just not sure whether they're going to... Oh, here it is. Beautiful. All right. Everything and nothing exists in the void. So I'm thinking of my grandsons, because they're all into space and planets and black holes, and every time I go over there they're talking about something else, and it's over my head. They're only 8 years old. It's already over my head. It's where all life begins and ends. It is the winter and the womb, the fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting, it can both be overwhelmingly small and huge. The void is where faith lives. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you. Oh, isn't that the Empress energy? Regardless of whether you know, they'll one day become. You're being called to surrender to the mystery of what's next, to rest and to allow the winter of your life to do the work for you, to hand over your control and trust that just because you can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean things aren't at work. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and trust that our life has been knitted for us, right beneath the surface, in ways known and unknowable. Now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep, deep rest. The void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. It's the moon as well. It's all the cards we've pulled today. When we are called to let go of all that we know and identify with, when you're in the void, it can feel scary, as if you shouldn't be doing something. However, when this card appears, it's a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is to relinquish control and surrender to the changing mystery of your life. I think that's an absolutely magnificent card to get in this reading. It is perfect for this reading and just what I'm feeling from the energy. You are being asked to just let go and just allow things to unfold the way they should. I feel like this could be your cycle. Your cycle could be control. If I can't control it, it's not going to happen. Like, I need to control. I'll leave you with it. Thank you.